one and all, dear brothers and sisters of India. I'm the chairperson of this Babu Singh Jai Singh Ayurvedic Medical College, principal, director, and coordinator of this session, Dr. Sarangapaniji, and technical support, Dr. Shianji. I pronounce one and all, particularly my dear beloved students and the future. సార్ సారంగపల్లి సార్ మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసేయండి సార్. మ్యూట్లో పెట్టండి మీ మొబైల్ని. సార్ సారంగపల్లి సార్ మీ మొబైల్ని అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి సార్. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. Students and the future doctors of this great nation, Bharat, what actually expressed by Dr. Sarangapaniji was 100% true. I came from, what can I say? There is no scope for coming forward also. But because of my beloved mother, now I could sit or stand before you just because of my mother. On this occasion, I offer my humble pranams to my beloved mother. If she is not there, I really say that there is no Surya Prasad. Okay, that's all. And now, the topic given is the importance of Sanskrit in Ayurveda. This is a topic given to me, and I'll be very happy to share my views with you. Now, please just tell me whether my screen is being shared or not.
Yes, sir.
Anybody can say. Is it shared, sir? My screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Please, one thing, I will ask some few questions, dear students of BAMS. Anybody can go out of my earnest request with the coordinator, sir, and the technical support, sir. Any child may go out of the hall and can answer a few questions. Any one student or two students, that is according to your wish. Simple questions. The questions are whether did you study Sanskrit or not. This would be my first question. And if studied Sanskrit, what was the medium of instruction? That much. These are the two questions I wanted to ask you. So I need some answer from your side. That is particularly the BAMS students, so that I will begin my presentation. So please make sure this. And dear students of BAMS, I had an opportunity of working with an Ayurvedic medical college in 2008 when I have completed my first PhD in Sanskrit grammar, and I happened to work with Professor Sarangapani ji and learned many things from him. And he was the only person who attended even my marriage also. He blessed me, and his blessings are ever with me. I offer my humbly pranams to you, sir. Okay, now I will start my presentation. I think it is 11:56, so I may continue up to 1 o'clock. Uh, so this is the title of the session: the importance of Sanskritam in Ayurveda. So whenever we are going to speak later in our life, I particularly say that use it Sanskritam, not Sanskrit. Though in my presentation, I will use only Sanskrit, but the proper word for Sanskrit is not Sanskrit but Samskritam. So Samskritam, and it is not Ayurveda but Ayurveda. So now I will be focusing on this the importance of Samskritam language in Ayurveda. And this is Dr. G. Surya Prasad coming from Central Sanskrit University. Okay, now the question is, did you study Sanskrit in your school or up to 12th plus 2 level? Anybody can answer me? Hello? Sir, is my voice visible, audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that, I assume that, okay, let me continue, sir. I assume that somebody studied Sanskrit. Okay. I assume that you have studied Sanskrit. And if you had studied Sanskrit, which was the medium of language, medium of instruction? Is it Hindi? Is it Hindi?
Yes, sir.
So, dear students and the future doctors, you have studied Sanskrit. You have studied Sanskrit, but not through the Sanskrit. You have studied Sanskrit, but not through the Sanskrit. You have studied Sanskrit through your mother tongue. Through your mother tongue, you have studied. I think I am right. Okay, even me also, I studied Sanskrit through my mother tongue, that is Telugu. And it is the case with every Sanskrit child. They are studying Sanskrit through the another language. That means we are focusing on translation. We are focusing on translation of Sanskrit. Translation of Sanskrit into our mother tongue. Okay, now I'll be saying something. So please listen carefully. In 2008, in 2008 and 2009, I worked in Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow campus of Central Sanskrit University. So in Gomati Nagar, particularly I think in Viram Khande, you can search in net also. We have a campus of Kendriya Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya, Central Sanskrit University, and I happened to work there for 5 months there. Okay. Then, besides Ambedkar Park, it is well known to all of you because you are natives of Uttar Pradesh state. Ambedkar Park was there just, I think, some 2 or 3 kilometers away from this Gomati Nagar Viram Khand. In between, there is a park. In between, there is a park, and in that, I have attended a Kavita Sammelanam. Kavita Sammelanam. Kavita Sammelanam. So many people gathered there. Even I have gone there. Some of my students have taken there. I used to teach BA students there in Lucknow campus. So my students have taken me there to see the Kavita Sammelanam. And in that Kavita Sammelanam, I happened to hear some Kavita in Hindi. Am I audible perfectly? This is what I required the most thing. I will read out the Kavita. जिंदगी सिर्फ गम ही गम तो नहीं है. मेरी दक्षिण की हिंदी है. कभी कभी मिस्टेक्स भी हो सकते हैं, क्षमा करेंगे आप. जिंदगी सिर्फ गम ही गम तो नहीं है, अपने हिस्से में से अलम तो नहीं है, और कुछ लोग हैं जो गमगीन तुम यहाँ ही हम तो नहीं है. I think you are understanding this kavita, which is sung by a famous poet. I could not remember the name of that particular kavi, but he sang this song in Sri Lanka's parliament. Okay, and now see how very beautiful line is coming. मेरे ख्वाबों में फूल खिलते हैं, मेरे ख्वाबों में फूल खिलते हैं, ये कहीं आपका करम तो नहीं है, ये कहीं आपका करम तो नहीं है, जिंदगी सिर्फ गम ही गम तो नहीं है. Only one time I happened to listen to this song, only one time in that point of time. And in 2008 I have not that much perfect knowledge of even Hindi also, but I could remember even as of today also. It is just because of the attachment I made with that particular line. How did you feel? The kavita, I think, is nice to hear, isn't it? Then the thing is, if I translate the same kavita in English, the same beauty will be there. Whatever the beauty of Hindi language we have seen, गम ही गम तो नहीं है, life is not full of sorrows. Can we translate like this? Can we get, if we translate like this, can we get the same beauty of the language? I think we may not. So the beauty of language will be with the original language only. Whatever be the shloka, whatever be the kavita, shaire, jo bhi ho, that the originality cannot be translated. You can just interpret that. You can give the meaning of that in another language. That's all. You cannot translate the originality, the beauty of the language by translation. I think you are getting me. By translation, you will not get the beauty of the original language. And the second thing, originality of a language is lost. If you go for a translation, if you go for translation, originality is lost. No doubt at all. Originality is something different, and the translation, because the translator uses his own mind. The translator uses his own mind. I tell something, you may interpret in another way. So that is what originality of the language is lost. And the another thing is, can we master the language with just translation? क्या हम उस भाषा में महान बन सकते हैं खाली अनुवाद के माध्यम से? आपके पास खाली अनुवाद की ज्ञान है, क्या आप उसमें महान शिक्षक बन सकते हैं? नहीं, ये नहीं हो सकता है. You can never become the master of the language with just a translation. And hidden meaning and interpretation is the most important thing, that each and every language is divine, each and every language is beautiful, and each and every language is full. Then each and every language has some hidden meaning, hidden meaning that will be understood if we use the same language only. It is not understood by the translation at all. Some hidden meanings will be there that will be understood by the use of the same language only. There is no another way to understand. Suppose if I speak in Telugu, you may not understand. You may not understand. If I speak in Odia, you may not understand. But if you use Braja Bhasha, हमारे तुलसीदास जी कई रामचरितमानस लिखे हैं. राम काज करिवे को आतुर. Rama Kaja. I don't know the meaning of Rama Kaja till I reached the Odisha state. When I have come Odisha, these people you say that Karyam, these people say that Karja. And that is in Vraja Bhasha turned into Kaja. The root word is Sanskrit Karya, and in Odisha it has become Karja, like how I am writing here, Karja. And in Braja Bhasha, I think in which the Tulasidas ji ने रामचरितमानस लिखा है उसमें राम काजा काजा मतलब काम so see the क्षम्यतम the original beauty will not be or the hidden meaning will not be understood by the translation. The hidden meanings cannot be understood by the translation. That is what my idea. You all, even me also studied Sanskrit through the translation. So all these are lacunas are there. All these are lacunas in our learning process. And complete understanding of language is done if the language is taught by the same language. संस्कृत से संस्कृत सीखेंगे तो हमको एक कंप्लीट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ ए लैंग्वेज संपूर्ण रूप से भाषा की अवगति हो सकती है जो भी हो हिंदी हिंदी के माध्यम से पढ़ाना चाहिए संस्कृत थ्रू संस्कृत एंड इंग्लिश थ्रू इंग्लिश what happens you see each and every school offer english through english but sanskrit through english or hindi or telugu or odia this is the condition prevailing. Okay, so the complete understanding of any language through by the same language, not by the translation. Okay, if at all my voice is not audible, the coordinator is requested to alert me. Then, perfect and authentic knowledge. We require the perfect and authentic knowledge of the language. This is also cannot be done by the translation. This is a question. Does translation help? No way. Translation. And you are going to be Ayurvedic doctors. Ayurveda Vaidyaha Bhavantaha Bhavitum Gachanti. You are going to become Ayurvedic medical practitioners. So, translation is not at all useful. Translation is not at all useful. Translation of the Sanskrit language is not at all useful, be it Hindi or English or any other language. It is not at all useful. Why? I have given so many reasons so far. For all of these reasons, you must learn Sanskrit. You must learn the Sanskrit. And before my teaching only, I have sent some 3 videos. In that, the first song was Sarala Bhasha Sanskritam. Sanskrit is the easiest language in the world. Sanskrit is the easiest language in the world, and the example is G. Surya Prasad. I don't know the Hindi, I don't know English, nothing I don't know. But because of this Sanskrit mother, only because of this Sanskrit mother, now I can speak in Hindi, I can speak in English, and even I can speak in Odia. I don't know Odia also, but I can do like this because of only Sanskrit. Okay, so Sanskrit is the easiest language in the world, and I request you try to understand the importance of Sanskrit not only in Ayurveda, but in all the aspects of life. So, my basic idea of this slide is translation does not help you to understand the language. Okay, now let us see one simple. So, translation is not always helpful in complete understanding of another language. If it is the case with a scientific study, so general talking no problem. आम तौर पर हम बात करते हैं संस्कृत 12वीं तक पढ़ते हैं वहां पर इतना हम दबाव नहीं देते हैं लेकिन आप अभी साइंटिफिक स्टडी के रूप में नाउ यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी आयुर्वेदा लाइक ए साइंटिफिक स्टडी देन in that scientific study, is it useful? Only translation is useful? If at all. Sorry, my dear students. I have the experience of 3 years and means two batches I taught Sanskrit for BAMS students. If we have no knowledge of Sanskrit, the thing is like this half full glass. You may know the concepts of Ayurveda, but that is not incomplete. That is incomplete in nature. That is incomplete in nature. So it is your duty to decide whether to become a full of glass or half of the glass. I request you to all to listen carefully my lecture further coming and develop the curiosity to learn the Sanskrit. Okay, so that someday will be there. A bright morning you will become an eloquent speaker, a writer of Ayurvedic textbooks also in Sanskrit again. So that is what the main idea, that if you don't know the Sanskrit language, so far I told that to understand any other language, translation does not work. And to understand a scientific discipline like Ayurveda, translation does not serve the purpose. काम में नहीं आता है। आयुर्वेद जैसे वैज्ञानिक विषय को पढ़ने के लिए संस्कृत का ही ज्ञान आवश्यक है, अपेक्षित है। हिंदी के माध्यम से या अंग्रेजी के माध्यम से आप पढ़ सकते हैं, लेकिन द कंप्लीट अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज नॉट डन देयर। सो दिस इज द थिंग। So Ayurveda is a science where just translation of knowledge helps. No, no way. Ayurveda is a science where translation does not help. So I request for the first year, you will be having Sanskrit. Some three subjects are there: Ayurvediya Hitopadesha, Vaidyakiya Subhashitani, and Sanskrit grammar Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, which are the fundamental for any Ayurveda medical practitioner. So that I request to all of you to understand the importance of Sanskrit in the Ayurveda stream. So now I will be focusing on some key aspects. Otherwise, you may be knowing that Bharatasya Pratishthe Dve Samskritam Samskritis Tatha. So it is the legacy of India, not just Uttar Pradesh, not just Andhra Pradesh. It is the legacy of प्रतिष्ठा। हमारी प्रतिष्ठाएं दो हैं, एक है संस्कृत और दूसरा है संस्कृति। And you are going to learn a divine language, not the ordinary language. It is Divya, the language of gods, Deva Bhasha. It is not an ordinary language, my dear students. If you can speak in this language, you too become the gods. If you can understand Sanskrit through the Sanskrit, I'm sure that you will definitely become the gods. That is what the inner spirit of this great language, inner spirit of this great language. Already I mentioned that I don't know English. Yes, I studied English, for your astonishment, in ninth class for the first time. In sixth class, I learned ABCD, and that thereby I went to some Gurukula and again back to general stream of education. In ninth class, I happened to learn English, and you see, everything is rote learning. Kantasthikaranam. Once upon there was a crow, it was thirsty. Once upon there was a crow, once upon there was a crow. ऐसे कंठस्थीकरण करता था मैं डिग्री सेकेंड ईयर तक। जब डिग्री सेकेंड ईयर में एग्जाम लिखा, मैं डेट भी लिख के लगा रखा था। आज मेरी इंग्लिश की पढ़ाई खत्म हो गई। अम्मा, एक प्रॉब्लम से मैं छूट गया। ऐसा मैं अपना डायरी में भी लिख के रखा हूं। वैसा था इंग्लिश से मेरी ये। बट this great divine language Sanskrit helped me a lot to speak in English fluently. It is just blessings of my mother language Sanskrit. Though my mother tongue is Telugu, I consider Sanskrit as my mother tongue. Okay, this mother tongue made me to speak fluently in English. So this is Divya. Divya is Deva Bhasha, language of gods. And if we see the etymology word will be useful for you in Ayurveda. Every day, all your teachers will say niruktihi athava vyutpattihi. Niruktihi athava vyutpattihi. That is in Sanskrit. That is in English. Kshametam, etymology. So the etymology in Sanskrit word is सम प्लस क्रू अथवा सम्यक कृतम संस्कृतम परिष्कृतम सम प्लस क्रू मीन्स डन ऑलरेडी खत्म हो गया है कौन सा परिष्करण जैसे हमारे भारत में मोदी जी अब स्वच्छ भारत अभियान से पूरा भारत को परिष्कार कर रहे हैं वैसे भाषाओं में संस्कृत भाषा ऐसी भाषा है जो पहले से ही परिष्कृत है संस्कृत का मतलब है परिष्कृत द मोस्ट रिफाइंड लैंग्वेज इन द वर्ल्ड the most sanctified language in the world. Actually, you are the most luckiest people in the world that you are getting an opportunity to study Sanskrit. You will be understanding in your later life how this. Otherwise, I will be showing some key slides. You will be understanding this how the Sanskrit will help you to rise like anything. So this is what some important things about Sanskrit, and it is the history of Sanskrit. It is an Indo-Aryan language in which Vedas composed, even our Ayurveda also. And one more thing here, I must mention that it is the time of this language is actually immemorial, anadi. इसका आदि नहीं है अनादि मतलब न आदि ही अनादि ही न आदि इक्वल्स टू अनादि ओके इसका शुरुआत नहीं है कोई भी नहीं जानता है जैसे भगवान के बारे में बोलते हैं अनादि अनंत वैसे संस्कृत भाषा भी एक अनादि है immemorial its time is immemorial but some people say that it belongs to second millennium BCE like that people say. So now we will be knowing something as an important aspect about the grammar of Sanskrit. It is written by Panini. The name of that grammar is Ashtadhyayi. It is a perfect grammar in the world so far. It is the only grammar in the world. Even Western people admitted this truth that only Sanskrit is a prominent grammar of any living or dead language of the world. And here some 14 sounds are there which you will be understanding in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi paper as part of Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. 14 sutras are there. The first sutra will be like this Aivun. The first sutra I will just mention you Aivun. This is the first sutra. So this Maheshwara Sutra contains only alphabet that is A, I, Vu, Ru, Lu. I won, relic, a vote, I ouch, however, like that. Some 14 sounds are there which are actually given by the Maheshwara. वाराणसी में काशी में भगवान विश्वनाथ जी रहते हैं भगवान विश्वनाथ जी ने महेश्वरा सूत्रास these 14 sounds that is the alphabet of Sanskrit is directly derived from the Lord Kashi Vishwanatha Maheshwara Sutra. The name of that 14 sounds are means the Sanskrit alphabet is aroused from the Lord Vishwanatha or Maheshwara. And it is not just alphabetical sounds. The Maheshwara Sutra is powerful mantra. Is a powerful mantra. I will be saying that. Otherwise, you can see here particularly this particular line you can see, if you can see it, you can read it. The sounds of the alphabet are said to have originated from Lord Shiva's damru or drum. When he played his damaru or drum during the universe creation, these 14 Maheshwara Sutras were created and received by Panini, a great sage of Sanskrit drama. So now something related to Ayurveda you'll be knowing. Otherwise, you already came to know about Ayurveda. You just see this slide. I will give a reading of it. That's all. I will not elaborate this because you all are would be the Ayurveda scholars, and already I think some Ayurveda classes were completed. So it is a natural system of medicine, and some 3,000 years ago it was originated like that. And the term Ayurveda is derived from two Sanskrit words, that is Ayuhu, Ayushaha, Vedaha, Ayurvedaha. The science of life, the science of life. Something here happened, some mistake is there. The science of life. Okay. Does the Ayurveda translate knowledge of life? That you already came to know. No need to elaborate, I think. So this is again Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a science of life, deals with the vast topics not only related to the disease and treatment, but also in all aspects related to maintaining the health of in an individual of an individual. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, and aturasya vikara प्रशमनम् एतत् द्वयम् आयुर्वेदस्य परमप्रयोजनं भवति तत्र I started in Sanskrit, sorry. So these are the key two aspects, that swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, maintaining the health of an individual. This is the primary focus of an Ayurvedic medical practitioner. And second one is aturasya vikara prashamanam, that to heal, that to heal the disease, that to give the treatment. These are the two key aspects of the Ayurveda. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikara prashamanam. And such concepts related to the swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, maintaining the health, and aturasya vikara prashamanam, giving treatment to the diseased, are written in the great language Sanskrit. It is not the ordinary language, my dear students. It is a great language, and it is synthetic in nature. Synthetic in nature. Synthetic in nature means a simple. I'll give a simple example. राम ने रावण को मारा है. राम ने. We add a ne here. 1 minute. I could not write. Ne. राम ने रावण को. So this ne and ko are the examples for Vishlishta Bhasha in your Hindi and in my Telugu. Otherwise, in all our Indian languages except Sanskrit, the noun requires a preposition. The noun requires a preposition. कुछ प्रत्यय चाहते हैं. हिंदी में हम इसको क्या बोलते हैं? प्रत्यय बोलते हैं. और मैं बोलता हूं विभक्ति प्रत्यय. इनको कहलाते हैं हम विभक्ति प्रत्यय. हम राम एक मूल शब्द होगा जिसको हम राम ने करेंगे, राम का करेंगे और राम को करेंगे. मतलब एक संज्ञावाचक होता है और वहां पर हम विभक्ति प्रत्यय लगाते हैं. लेकिन संस्कृत इज सिंथेटिक लैंग्वेज. द प्रत्यय विभक्ति प्रत्यय is joined the word, is joined the word. Suppose for an example, this is Rama, the root word, like in Hindi Ram. You add ne, Ram ne. So in Sanskrit, what I do? I will add Ramaha. Two visargas. Then Rama will give you the meaning, a person known as Rama. Rama is Rama, one Rama or single Rama. Okay. And if you use राम को, अदरवाइज रावण को करेंगे हम. रावण को, राम ने रावण को, है ना. इसको हम क्या करेंगे, संस्कृत में लिख रहा हूं मैं, रावण. सेम अप टू हियर सेम. द थिंग इज हियर वी हैव टू कीप अनुस्वारा, देन इट विल बिकम रावणम. सो हिंदी में हम क्या किए हैं, को लगाए हैं, बट इन संस्कृत जस्ट यू ऐड anuswara to the root word ravana, then that will become ravanam. So like that, pratyayas are mingled with the nouns. प्रत्ययास, विभक्ति प्रत्यय जुड़े हुए हैं संज्ञावाचक के साथ साथ. वैसे लैंग्वेज है संस्कृत. A single word of this language presents several ideas. Whatever the word you take in Sanskrit will have so many meanings. Like according to the context, we have to take the proper meaning of a Sanskrit word. You see, I will just write a word. You might be knowing this word, Parthiva. Parthiva Deha. Okay, it will be coming in your Ayurveda. Parthiva Deha. So this body, Deha, is related to Parthiva. Parthiva means, what is that? Earth. Prithvi, earth. Prithvi and Parthiva. From Prithvi word, Parthiva is originated. So Parthiva Deha is the body made up of earth, like that. And now I will write another word, Partha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna many a times by this word Partha. Partha. So original word is Prutha, okay, and from that Partha has come. Prutha is again earth, or here in this context Kunti, the mother of who is this Arjuna, the mother of Arjuna, but contextually we have to take only Arjuna. So Yudhishthira is a son of Kunti. So Bhima is also son of Kunti, but Krishna addressing only Arjuna. So that this Partha, the particular word Partha, now addresses only Arjuna. Like that, Sanskrit words have several ideas with it, and according to the context we could understand, we must understand the meaning of this. Okay, so the science of Ayurveda is emerged. Again, this Ayurveda, four Vedas, Shed Darshanas, six philosophies. Shed Darshanas means six philosophies. Puranas, you may be knowing 18 Puranas are there. Everything is written in Sanskrit. Okay, and Ayurveda contains something from these vast literature. So some aspects are taken from Vedas and Darshanas directly. If you see Padartha Vijnana, the one discipline is there, basic Siddhanta or Padartha Vijnana, some where Sanskrit is part of the syllabus. You will have a topic Padartha Vijnana. This is entirely related to Shad Darshanas. If I am not wrong, the first one department is there, basic principles. Basic principles. It is almost some 12 years back. I forgot the discipline names. So the first department is basic principles, where Sanskrit is one of the discipline. So Padartha Vijnana, this entire discipline is related to the Shad Darshanas and even, of course, Veda. So like this, Ayurveda is having contribution from different literature of Sanskrit. And the structure of Ayurvedic books and technical terms, the grammar, the tools. Some tools are there used here: Tantra Yukti, Tantra Guna, Upamas, like that. Like this, some technical tools are used in Ayurveda which are the Sanskrit terms and taken from other literature of Sanskrit. So to understand this Ayurveda, you must learn Sanskrit. This is the first quality, and you must know the other literature also, particularly the Shaddarshanas, and in that particularly Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika. These are the foremost darshanas you must learn. The basic idea is only one, that you must equip the knowledge of Sanskrit and Sanskrit literature also. Uh, I skip because you will be knowing Ayurveda by other teachers also. I'll focus on just Sanskrit only. Otherwise, I will just give a reading of this. Based on the idea that disease is due to an imbalance or stress in a person's consciousness, Ayurveda encourages certain lifestyle interventions, and natural therapies to regain a balance between the body, mind, spirit, and the other environment. Samadosha, Samagnisha iti is a famous shloka where you will be getting the balance of tridoshas, Agnis, etc., etc. That will be, I think you already came to know the main shloka of Ayurveda, Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu, Malendriyaha, Malakriyaha, Kshamedam, Samadhatu, Malakriyaha. Again, something is on Ayurveda only. So Ayurveda treatment starts with an internal purification process. Internal purification process followed by special diet, herbal remedies, massage therapy, yoga, and meditation. All this will be there. And the concepts of universal interconnectedness, the body's constitution, prakriti, and life forces, tridoshaha, are the primary basis of Ayurvedic medicine. Goals of treatment: aid the person by eliminating impurities, reducing symptoms, increasing resistance to this disease, reducing worry, and increasing harmony in life. Herbs and other plants, including oils and common spices, are used extensively in Ayurvedic treatment. Actually, I beg my apologies. I am not an Ayurvedic practitioner. I am not well versed in Ayurveda, but dare to present something about Ayurveda. If at all there is any mistake, please pardon me. I request you with folded hands. So these are something related about the Ayurveda. And now let us focus this main thing, Sanskrit's connection with Ayurveda. Sanskrit's connection with Ayurveda. What is the connection between these two? Sanskrit is regarded as a language mother of all the universe. It is the mother of all languages. If your mother tongue is Hindi, then Sanskrit is your dadi, that is grandmother. Mother is Hindi and grandmother is this Sanskrit. Okay. And I am Telugu and my grandmother is, I am wholeheartedly and happily say that Sanskrit is my grandmother. And we will have certain affection, great affection with our Dada and Dadi only. Our father and mother, what they used to do, beat, always beat. Even me also do the same thing. But they will find solace with their grandmother and grandfather. So that is what, this is the great language that is like your dada or dadi. We can take it grandmother. So the four Vedas are there in Sanskrit, and whatever you are opted to study is Ayurveda, and it is an Upaveda. It is an Upaveda. It is also considered as a Veda. Actually, you are very fortunate enough. Sorry to say that. Sorry, we may not read all Vedas according to Hindu customs and rituals. All people cannot read it. Okay, even I have no the I don't have the same eligibility, but the God has chosen you. to learn this Ayurveda, which is nothing but Upaveda, a part of Veda, a part of Veda. Veda is the very word Veda is already you came to know that knowledge. Veda is knowledge. Okay, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda. All people may not have the eligibility to read it, but you all have the eligibility to read the Upaveda Ayurveda. Actually, you are so fortunate enough. In one slide, I will be showing that how we are very much fortunate enough. Uh, that I will be saying later. So this particular Ayurveda is contained in Atharvana Veda. Okay, it is Upaveda also. So the ancient Ayurvedic philosophy, formulae, suggestions, herbs, herbal formulations, treatment methods, lifestyle management protocol, and all medical instructions were written down in Sanskrit. My dear students, please take a note of this particular thing. The Ayurvedic philosophy is written down in Sanskrit. The Ayurvedic formulae written down in Sanskrit. The Ayurvedic suggestions written down in Sanskrit. The Ayurvedic herbs, same thing. Herbal formulations, treatment methods, whatnot, everything related to Ayurvedic system of healing is written down in Sanskrit. Sanskritam. So, if you want to know any aspect of this Upaveda or the Veda, you must have the knowledge of Sanskrit, nothing else. Since Ayurveda is codified using Sanskrit, a good knowledge of this language, a good knowledge of this language, not knowledge is required, my dear students. You may have knowledge of some Sanskrit words that is not appropriate, that is inappropriate, that is not up to the mark. You must have a good knowledge. You must have a good working knowledge of this language. Mere knowledge is not enough. I request you all to differentiate the two terms. Knowledge of Sanskrit you may have, but if the knowledge of that Sanskrit is not good, then it is not worthy to understand the Ayurvedic textbooks. So I request you to develop the good knowledge of Sanskrit, which is crucial to properly understand the Ayurvedic texts. I think that you are understanding. I thought that it would be interactive mode, but you're seeing on screen. I think you are getting me. Very nice. Then I will be moving further. A good knowledge of Sanskrit is required to understand all the Ayurvedic things. So this is the connection with the Sanskrit. So, in a nutshell, I can complete it. Ayurveda concepts are embedded in the language Sanskritam. Ayurvedic concepts are embedded in the divine language Sanskrit. So, Sanskrit's connection with Ayurveda again comes. Both Ayurveda, Sanskrit can touch you all in a metaphysical way. Metaphysical. So you might be knowing the word metaphysic, which is in Hindi translated Tattva Mimamsa. Tattva Mimamsa. It is a philosophy. It is a philosophy. Metaphysics is a philosophy. Is dealing with the nature of existence, nature of truth, nature of knowledge. अस्तित्व से, सत्य से और ज्ञान से संबद्ध हुआ दर्शन की एक शाखा है metaphysics. So Ayurveda has the metaphysics and even Sanskrit to have. The simple example is Shad Darshanas. Shad Darshanas, the six Indian philosophies. The six Indian philosophies. Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, like that Nyaya and Vaisheshika. These are the six Indian philosophies. Have this metaphysics, what the Western people call it. We call it Shad Darshanas or Tattva Mimamsa. So both Ayurveda and Sanskrit touch you in metaphysical way. So in both Ayurveda, you have this metaphysics, and Sanskrit too has the same thing. A shloka or a sutra used in Ayurveda textbooks. If you open any Sanskrit textbook, you will be finding either a shloka like Samadosha, Samagnisha, or a sutram like Iha Khalu Ayurvedasya Prayojana Dvayam Swastasya Swasthya Rakshanam Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam Cha. Like this sutra will be there. Either poetry will be there or in prose. You will be knowing that these two words in English, prose and poetry, like that. Shloka is poetry, sutra is prose, will be used in Ayurvedic textbooks. So these two are the contribution of Sanskrit into Ayurveda. Any form of Ayurvedic knowledge is a direct or indirect translation, be it direct translation or indirect translation from the original Sanskrit words. Before the beginning of this session, I have shown the demerits. The demerits में कुछ न्यूनताएं दिखाया मैंने कुछ न्यूनताएं दिखाए हैं. अगर कोई भाषा अनुवाद की माध्यम से पढ़ाई जाती है तो कितना समस्याएं हो सकते हैं, कितने समस्याएं हो सकते हैं. तो आप एक विज्ञान को पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, आयुर्वेद जैसा, तो उस विज्ञान की बातें संस्कृत में लिखी गई हैं और वो आप ट्रांसलेशन के माध्यम से समझने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं. तो पहले स्लाइड में जितना भी मैंने न्यूनताएं दिखाए हैं वो हो सकता है आपके साथ. इसीलिए मैं आपके साथ हाथ जोड़कर बोलता हूं कि संस्कृत की अध्ययन करें, संस्कृत से आप इसको समझे. I give a simple example. I am very old, approximately 42 years old. I am very much fan of cricket. Not now, in my childhood, later in young age also. In 1996, there was an advertisement. Many people may be knowing that in 1996 World Cup, India hosted that one. Coca-Cola advertisement was there. So they people say that eat cricket, then sleep cricket, eat cricket, sleep cricket, and last one is drink only Coca-Cola. This was the advertisement of those people, Coca-Cola people, because Coca-Cola is a sponsor. I think sponsor only. I think so. Sponsor they have made a song. Eat cricket, sleep cricket, drink only Coca-Cola. Like that, they used to advertise. So like this, my dear Ayurvedic doctors, I already started to say you that you're the doctors. Even though I used to say with my students also, when I was working in MNR Ayurveda Medical College, you're doctors, that's all. Only the certificate is remaining to get, that's all. So, dear Ayurvedic doctors, eat Sanskrit, sleep Sanskrit, and drink even Sanskrit only. Make your life Sanskrit. I'm sure that you will become a great, a great Ayurvedic medical practitioner. I'm sure because everything is written in Sanskrit, and unfortunately, we are depending on translation. So that I request you all to develop the Sanskrit knowledge. That is also good knowledge of Sanskrit. Okay, the ancient language embodies the principles behind Ayurveda in its structure, sound, and vibration. And we are going to learn Ayurveda through translation. Okay, you please develop your own way of knowledge of Sanskrit, your own way of learning Sanskrit, and try to learn all aspects of Ayurveda through Sanskrit only. Okay, we are learning this Ayurveda. We are going to learn Ayurveda through translation. That you can avoid with your rigorous परिश्रम. अगर आप परिश्रम करेंगे ये तो हासिल कर सकते हैं. बहुत परिश्रमी ही जीवन में सफलता को पाते हैं. ऐसा कुछ बहुत कुछ लोग बोलते हैं, आप जानते भी होंगे. तो वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न संस्कृत through the translation. So, sorry, translation is not always helpful in complete understanding of another language. And it is a scientific study. It is impossible to understand to have the deepest knowledge of Ayurveda. So this is already I have shown that only our mind. If you think this glass is our mind, where you are storing half of the water, like that you will get the knowledge of Ayurvedic aspects only half. But if you develop Sanskrit, that glass will be filled with water. Okay, each and every aspect you will be understanding like anything. I'm not saying that those who don't those who doesn't have the knowledge of Sanskrit may not this, but Sanskrit enriches your knowledge further. Sanskrit enriches your knowledge further. You can become the master of that particular. In the beginning of the session I have sung the kavita. Okay, जिंदगी सिर्फ गम ही गम तो नहीं है. मैं अगर इसको इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट करता हूं तो उतना ब्यूटी आ सकता है, उतना समझ हो सकता है, उतना फील आप हृदय से. मेरे खामों में फूल खिलते हैं, आई सी ब्लूमिंग फ्लावर्स इन माई स्लीप. Okay, in my dreams, something like that. Can you give the same idea whatever is written in Hindi? No, not at all. It is related with a particular language style of writing. So I request you to develop this Sanskrit from the very beginning. And I came to know today only that you are the first year students. Definitely, you will be having another 6 years, 4.5 year particularly, and great teachers you are having in this Shri Babu Singh Jai Singh Ayurvedic Medical College. All are well versed in Sanskrit. So get your Sanskrit knowledge enriched with the help of all these great teachers. So Ayurveda is a science where just a translation of knowledge will not be for help. So some key aspects of Ayurveda and Sanskritam. Sir, now it is 12:50. You please tell me when to stop. So this is the two things, Ayurveda and Sanskrit. Ayurveda is a mind body science, and Sanskrit is a mental purifier. It is related to both aspects. Ayurveda is related to both mind and body. Sanskrit is a mental purifier. Mental purifier purifies your inner thoughts. Sanskritam is already told refine. It will refine your way of thinking. It will refine your feelings. Everything, your entire character will be refined by this divine language. Sanskrit is also mental purifier of the mind, which helps a practitioner. Now, my dear students, please carefully look at the words, which helps a practitioner to represent the peaceful condition from which he or she can best support the health of others. You have become an Ayurvedic medical practitioner and you are giving treatment to somebody. Think like this. So some Surya Prasad came to you as a patient and you are the doctor giving treatment to Surya Prasad. What happens? If you are then such kind of problem will not be there. Go out of the particular room where this is a mental purifier. So purifies the minds of the people. So when you are giving treatment to a particular patient like Surya Prasad, your mind must be peaceful. If you are very much peaceful by mind, if you are peaceful, if you are having peaceful condition in your mind, you will definitely support the diseased person. Okay, means the doctor's prerequisite is their mind must be peaceful. So Sanskrit helps you keep your mind peaceful always. It is a purifier of the mind. Okay, I will conclude by exactly 1 o'clock. Another 8 minutes are there. So Sanskrit is here. I mentioned that Sanskrit is mental purifier. Actually, it is not just a mental purifier. It is having some particular effect on the human beings. That is known as a Sanskrit effect. Sanskrit effect. But Sanskrit has an impact on human control unit. The human control unit is the brain, and Sanskrit will have some impact over the brain. Okay, this impact is named as a Sanskrit effect. Sanskrit effect. Now you will understand neuroscience and Sanskrit effect. Directly, the Sanskrit will lead a specific effect on our brain, cognitive levels, on our cognition. It leaves some impact. Okay, how it will be like that? Let us see. So, did you know that memorizing ancient mantras? Why I have taken this? Sanskrit, sorry, Ayurveda is an ancient treasure of Indian knowledge. So, each and every letter is a mantra, ancient mantra. So, that memorizing the ancient mantras increase the size of certain regions of our brain. The chanting of ancient mantras, whatever there in Ayurveda, will increase the size of certain regions in our brain. It is known as the Sanskrit effect. संस्कृत पढ़ने से हमारे मस्तिष्क में कुछ भागों की विकास हो जाता है जो कॉग्निशन से संज्ञान से रिलेट करते हैं. So this is what Sanskrit. This is the basic what contribution of Sanskrit verses, particularly the oldest treasure, the oldest ancient like Ayurveda or the Shaddarshnas or the Vedas. It is some particular tweet from the Western people. Children raised reciting Sanskrit mantras have measurable, unusual growth in the brain's right hippocampus. I don't know this particular hippocampus. Our Sarangapani sir is there. He is related to the anatomy wing only. He will explain you hippocampus, which controls critical verbal memory organs. Neuroscientists have found. Neuroscientists have found that this Sanskrit mantras have measurable, unusual growth in the brain's right hippocampus, which controls critical verbal memory organ. Okay, so amantram aksharam nasti. Here the term is there mantras. In Sanskrit, take it granted, amantram aksharam nasti. Aksharam means this is A. A is an aksharam. Amantram nasti. In Sanskrit, you have some alphabet. All the alphabet, each and every alphabet is a mantra. Each and every alphabet. If you say A, that is a mantra. And the Dravya Guna people, otherwise all Ayurvedic people will agree with me. Nasti moolam anoshadham. There is no root. There is no root which is not used for medicinal properties or a drug. There is no such a root in the world which cannot be used like a drug. नास्ति मूलम अनौषधम. ऐसा कोई मूल नहीं है वृक्ष का जिसे हम ड्रग के रूप में उपयोग कर सके, न कर सके. मतलब हर एक मूल किसी न किसी ड्रग में उपयोग में आता है। वैसे अमंत्रम अक्षरम नासी इन संस्कृत यू आर वेरी मच फॉर्चुनेट, यू आर गोइंग टू रीड संस्कृत. In each and every Sanskrit letter, there is a mantra. So if you chant the mantra, if you chant the mantra, your critical verbal memory organs will be developed like anything. This is the idea of this tweet. Okay. And next one, ayogyaha purushaha nasti yojakaha tatra durlabha. This is not actually related to this topic, but it is a complete shloka, so that I am showing. Amantram aksharam nasti, nasti moolam anaushadam, ayogaha purushaha nasti yojakaha tatra durlabha. There is no person, we cannot blame any person that you are waste. Every person is unique. Like that, the remaining half says, every person in the world is unique. He can make some changes, but he must use the opportunities like that, this meaning. Then this is a tweet by IIT Roorkee. The Sanskrit effect and how rigorous memorizing helps the memory. If you read, learn Sanskrit, then your memory levels will be like anything. I already mentioned that I don't know the English, I don't know Hindi, but because of this great mother, Sanskrit, I can speak now. Just because of this thing. Okay, that is the Sanskrit effect. Okay, so with this, I wish to conclude. One another thing is there, already the PPT is shared with your teacher, Professor Dr. Sarangapani ji and Shian ji. Already it is there. You please go through that. Here, comparison between the head of Lord Ganesha with the human brain was mentioned. How it is like that. You can go through the PPT. Still, many slides are there. Another one session is required actually, but I conclude here just to say that सरल भाषा संस्कृतम, सरस भाषा संस्कृतम. Don't think that Sanskrit is a difficult language. Don't please think like that. It is the easiest language in the world. I am from Telugu. I don't know Sanskrit. I don't know Sanskrit. I know just only Telugu, but now I can speak, understand, I write anything in Sanskrit. Okay, when it is possible with somebody else and it is possible with you also, means you all can become Sanskrit scholars. You all can. Just think that it is the Sanskrit is the easiest language. And I have asked to show one story. Ekaha kakaha asti. Saha pipasitaha asti. I think you might have understood the story. Just like how the story was very much easy, the Sanskrit is very much easy, very much easy. Just you must go to the Sanskrit. You must inculcate some interest towards Sanskrit. Just think the first Zindagi Sirf Gam Ye Gam. To understand the Kavita in Hindi, we must have the knowledge of Hindi only. Translation does not work. To understand the originality of any language. With this, I conclude my lecture. I thank the chairperson, Dr. Sunita Yadav ji, director, Dr. Shailendra Yadav, principal, Dr. Manjunatha NSG, coordinator, Dr. Sarangapani ji, and other dignitaries of the college and other teachers, other professors of this Babu Singh Ayurvedic Medical College, and particularly all of you, the students, you are the future of our India, and Sanskritam and the culture, Sanskrit and its culture is the legacy of India. Wherever we go as an Indian, they will find the only two things within us, the culture and the Sanskrit. Okay, you are very fortunate enough to have the Sanskrit subject in Ayurveda, and please learn that. With this, I once again being very grateful, concluding my lecture. and this importance of Sanskrit in Ayurveda. Thank you, all the students. Particularly, you are the people who have given a chance for me, and I am thanking you once again, all the students and the authorities of the college. So, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity.